Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word. We are concluding our study of the book of Ruth today. We are calling this one the final curtain, and we're going to be reading from Ruth 4, verses 13 through 22. The end is taking place. So I started drinking my Gatorade when we started this study, and now it's over. It's all gone. Let's read chapter 4, verses 13. It says this, if you have your Bibles. So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. When he made love to her, the Lord enabled her to conceive, and she gave birth to a son. The woman said to Naomi, "Praise be to the Lord, who this day has left you without a guardian and redeemer. May he become famous throughout Israel. He will renew your life and sustain you in your old age for your daughter-in-law who loves you and who is better to you than 7 sons has given him birth." Then Naomi took the child in her arms and cared for him. The woman living there said, "Naomi has a son." And they named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. This is the genealogy of David, verses 18 through 22. This then is the family line of Perez. Perez was the father of Hezron, Hezron the father of Ram, Ram the father of Amminadab, Amminadab the father of Nahshon, Nahshon the father of Salmon, Salmon the father of Boaz, Boaz the father of Obed, Obed the father of Jesse, and Jesse the father of David. What I find fascinating in the story also is that the women were all excited when this baby was born to Ruth and Boaz, which it's like that whenever anyone has a baby, everyone's all excited about it. But the fascinating thing is there was no children at all in Moab that was born through Ruth, during this time, or during her first marriage. Okay, she only had children after she was married to Boaz. So it's a fascinating thing. God had closed up that womb, but then opened it up for His plan. Okay, ultimately for His plan and the way He worked through redemption. So you think, okay, well that's great. That's the final thing with everything, and I got this Gatorade and it's all. However, it's not. I have another one where that came from. I'm ready to go. Because you turn over to Matthew, and you think, oh, okay, that's nice. That's the end of the book of Ruth, the story of Ruth. You turn over to the first book in Matthew, of the New Testament, Matthew, and you go down through the genealogy, and you're like, oh, boring genealogies. The genealogies consisted of the men in the line in this genealogy. It's showing the line of Jesus. Okay, so it's showing all that. However, if you look closely in here, you'll be reading and you'll come along and you're like, wait a minute, that's a woman's name in there, and then you'll read it more and you're like, there's another woman in here mentioned, and then you go, wait a minute, here the Ruth is mentioned in here. Okay, there are 3 women mentioned in the genealogy in Matthew. Okay, all 3 of them. It's Tamar, Rahab, and Ruth. They were all Gentiles. There was not one of them born that was a Jewish descent. They were all Gentiles, but they were grafted in to that line of Jesus. Okay, so it's an example of the redemption of God. That whole story of Ruth is how she was redeemed. She was a Moabitess. Okay, that was the enemy back then, but she was redeemed and she was brought into the family of God, really, that Jewish nation, and into the line of Jesus. And so let me read verse 5. In verse 3 of Matthew 1, it talks about Tamar. But then in Matthew 1, verse 5, it says, Solomon, the father of Boaz, whose mother was Rahab. Okay, Rahab was way back, several hundred years before that. And then Boaz, the father of Obed, whose mother was Ruth. Ding! Right there you go. we have, the story continues. This Gatorade, I have more where that came from. So the story continues, and Ruth it doesn't stop in the book of Ruth. It continues on through into the New Testament, her story. All right, just fascinating. So that concludes the book of Ruth. The curtain comes down on the book of Ruth. But like I've said, everything points to the New Testament and to Jesus. All right, so we've concluded. Tomorrow I got a fascinating study. It's kind of funny. It's called A Buffoon for God. Wow. So we're doing that tomorrow. It's a special episode, and then the next day after that, we're starting a new book. You got to wait and see, and it's going to be exciting to see what that one is. Thank you for watching. I'm just a regular dude walking the Word, and I will see you tomorrow as we continue our journey through who knows where. We'll see you then. Blessings.